Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Okay. So today on the podcast, we're going to be jumping in, talking to two guys that are nailing it in their business life. I don't know about your personal life. I mean, by the look of things that are going on right now, you look much healthier than the last time I talked to you.
I appreciate that.
I mean, you were like a 65-year-old man at the point that I got a hold of you. I started talking to you. You're like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna go to the gym tonight.
He snapped me into it. He did.
I did.
He did. That was a great talk that we had.
That was a good meeting.
It was.
That was a good meeting.
It was.
I remember I was calling you.
I was super inspired.
You just looked. You looked a little down that day. I had never seen you like that.
It was a rough beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But we turned it around. That was right when COVID hit, and then.
No, that was before that.
It was a little bit before.
Yes.
And then right after, I just stepped it up.
Yes.
Bought a home gym.
How did that change anything?
In terms of what?
In terms of the things that we were talking about that day. How did you take in control of your
in terms of home life?
Yes.
And relationship with my wife?
Yes.
Exponentially better.
Exponentially.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people look at me and they go, asshole. And that's kind of where they go with it. And then they just cut me off from there.
Right.
But if you give me like 5-10 minutes and we have like an in-depth discussion, I think that I got a pretty good read of people, only because my life has been such a shit show.
Right.
And
you've dealt with the same things.
Right. You can't go. Yes. Yes.
You were going through some things. We were going through the same time. And we can both relate.
Yes. I mean, I was just coming out of a relationship. Yeah. That was the craziest thing, because after I came out of that relationship, I remember I went with El Gali to Burr's, which Burr's podcast just released today.
Okay.
So I went with them to Brian Burr's bachelor party in Conroe.
Bachelor party?
Yeah, this was it.
Getting married? Oh, no, Burr's. I'm
Burr.
talking, not Tommy.
Not Tommy.
Okay,
not Tommy.
okay.
Tommy's podcast just released last week.
Really?
Yeah, so you got to go back and watch it.
Waiting on that invite.
What?
Waiting on that invite.
So we went there. It was like July 4th, and I had been telling all my buddies, I was like, man, there was this one girl, and she's the one that got away, right? She messaged me, and that's the one that you met Saturday night. Kendra.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You guys have ruined my my whole date night with Kendra. So we go out to Well Done Cooking class with the Burrs, Chelsea. Yeah, down the street. Have y'all been there?
No, never
Well
been.
Done. Oh shit!
Cooking class.
It's cooking class. Okay. Here's the deal. We're renting out the whole space for our friends. Y'all should come with your wives. Let's do this. Me, Al Gali, y'all, Burr.
Okay.
This other guy named Slusky, Greg Slusky. You know him?
Maybe.
Everybody's all partnered up now.
Right.
Like, it's so weird. My group went from all these single degenerates to now, like, we're all together. And I think
time to grow up.
You led the way.
Yeah.
You
time coming, though, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had set out the path far in front of us. So, yeah, you ruined my night because after Kendra met you and learned what you did to the Heights Hotel, the Heights House Hotel, which the logo keeps flipping back and forth. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, my God, I got to have you fuckers on so we could talk about this, because this is incredible.
Super exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
You changed Cavalcade like that.
It's the biggest eyesore, right?
Right.
That was the only thing. I mean, you got, $225 a square foot in that area?
Yeah.
And you're driving in, and you see crackheads on the right, and,
And then there's the $1 million houses that I've built in that neighborhood.
Exactly.
Y'all built a couple in there.
Right.
Yeah, so Brooksmith is the let me bring everyone up to speed who's watching. Brooksmith, 2010. I saw an article in the Houston Press. It said Brooksmith is going to be the up-and-coming neighborhood of the year. It was the number one. Mm-hmm. Houston Press put together this list, and you could, if you just followed that, I don't even know what the hell that noise is, but if you just followed what they said, is that your phone?
Is that your phone?
No.
Okay, I don't know. It's not mine. Anyway, if you were to follow what Houston Press says, you would have made a killing. So in 2010, it says Brooksmith's going to be the up and coming neighborhood of the year. Bought 2 houses side by side, $75,000 a piece. 602, wow. 604 Archer. The guy that sold those to me had both of those under contract for $100,000.
Right.
Both of them. Imagine. I mean, that's where we're at today. So Astro Inn was like what, $29.99 a night, right?
Yeah, something like that. It was advertised as $32 a night.
Okay, so bring me up to speed from $29.99 a night. It's Astro Inn. How did the deal come to you?
Deal came to me. He was actually a client of ours.
Okay.
On the insurance side. So he had an unfortunate passing. His partner had passed away.
This was the owner.
This was the owner, correct. Okay. He'd been there 30 years, family business, basically you get to a point where, being an immigrant, you just, you put in enough work into this one business where you think you've pretty much maxed it out.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to put any more money to do renovations, so it was a complete shit show. Out of the 140 rooms,
it looked horrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was horrible.
It was mismanaged, and I mean, you can get a nice hourly rate.
He was actually managing well. He was at a 75%, 80% occupancy
on
his property. Yeah, so
so he was cash flowing
mostly. Well, yeah, but mostly long-term stays. People, transient people. When you get your federal check, homeless people would go over there and take showers and stay there for a week, and then go back out on the streets. So it was that dynamic, and we could have kept it as is and just cash flowed and stayed safe, because I think it would have stayed in that condition during COVID as well, pretty healthy and making money. I just didn't want to deal with the headache of running a business that had that type of clientele and seeing what the potential risk and liabilities that we're dealing with.
This is where you guys nailed it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you saw something in that building of what I see in these dilapidated, rundown bungalows. Right? I walk in and I get a design hard on. Y'all saw that building, and I never even saw it. I never did. And all of a sudden, the paint job went on, and I go, God damn.
Okay.
And then remember, I pulled over because I saw your Land Rover outside.
Right.
And I was like, man, you got to do something here. And you were like, well, that's what we're doing. Right. I paid this guy to come put this painting up on the wall.
Yeah.
So how did you get the vision for it? Like, what was,
I mean, that was all Javar.
Really?
To be completely honest, I mean, he has so many ideas to a fault.
Yeah.
So he made a lot of changes and more changes, and but ultimately it was mostly his vision, and we were just agreeing to everything.
Yeah.
So
to their detriment.
How does the partnership set up? Like, you do what on that side, and you do.
So Hatham and I we're 50% of the partners on my half.
Okay.
And my other partner, George Giannukos, he's a serial investor. He's a hedge fund guy. Basically came in on the other 50, him and his partnership group. So George and I are the two Class A partners. He handles a lot of the finances, the day-to-day figuring out, what we need to make in order to, break even, and he handles a lot of the stuff that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
And that's we're a great partnership because of that.
So you buy the property for?
We bought it at $4 million.
$4 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 acres.
Right. 2 acres on White Oak Bayou.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the day that you buy it, what happens the next day?
It flooded. So it flooded.
Yeah.
It was a lobby flood, but it did flood. It took about 2 feet of water.
Right.
Set us back about 3 months.
Yeah.
Why is that?
With I think the construction aspect of it, waiting on insurance. We were doing a lot of construction, but it just shifted our focus to what we had to fix now.
Right.
So it held us back on the renovation side to get this lobby back up to par and get it permitted. And, it was just a lot going on. And then I think COVID right after.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did COVID affect y'all?
COVID, it really didn't. We were in the process of construction. We estimated 2 years for renovation, and we knocked it out in 12 months.
Wow.
So we turned and burned. We had a crew of about 50 there, Rise Construction, my company. And we just basically gutted every room, said hell with it, let's not keep anything, basically the stench of the old place. So let's gut and renovate, as cost effective as possible. So the renovation costs went around 2.5 to 3 million, give or take. And we were lucky to be able to get on a Fannie Mae loan. Actually, it was an SBA 7A loan, which was super hard to get. And
what's the benefit of a 7A?
The 7A loan basically was giving us the essentially the government is paying our note for 6 months upon closing.
Is it because it's in some sort of...
it was a COVID relief package, so to speak.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
So now they've actually extended that for a year. So now it's not a deferred payment. It's actually they're paying the actual note for the next year now, from 6 months to a year.
Oh, wow.
So haven't had to pay a mortgage for that time.
On a business that was not functioning too. I mean, there was no sales. It was all projections at that point.
Right. So it was tough, obviously, and seeing where the occupancy is dipped across the board in every industry,
especially the hotel industry.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, we're talking about the worst it's been since the Great Depression, even before that. So
and selling that vision to the bank.
Yeah. What was that like?
Challenge. That was a challenge. I mean, my wife especially having to come in and design the rooms and just paint a picture of what we see Heights House to be. And honestly, what I saw then is not what I'm seeing now because it's just so much better.
I wonder what you remember. You and I had this conversation where I called you up because I was so pissed. You were on a podcast with Tom Perry, and Tom was basically trying to, I got you, right?
Right.
Like over and over, and in his benefit, it was like me making fun of Bitcoin when Bitcoin like went to 20 and then went back down to 7, right? I'm making fun of everybody, right?
We're speaking on the Airbnb.
And Tom was just basically like trying to get you on so your wife is working an hour and you're making $1,000 an hour. Well, that's a job. I'm like, okay, but you're still making like a shit ton of money. So you and I talked about this, and I really saw the vision of Airbnb, and I just didn't see how y'all were going to put it together. But as soon as I saw the transformation, I thought Austin Motel.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that was missing was the swimming pool. And then next thing I know, there's the fucking swimming pool.
Yeah.
Jeez, I mean,
swimming pool. Yeah.
Is there like a challenge getting a swimming pool in a flood area?
Anything with the city is a challenge, right? As you know, right?
Oh,
especially in Brooksmith, you're right down the street from all the development that's going on.
You're right down the street from the city permitting office.
Exactly. So we just random stop bys, but the city was actually very lenient with us in a lot of ways because of what we were doing.
Right.
Actually, Cisneros, our representative, the district representative in that area.
Did you go to him and ask for help?
Actually, her husband is actually one of our architects, not on this project, but in previous projects.
Okay.
And she had reached out to us,
it's
actually.
Sylvia Cisneros.
Sylvia Cisneros, yeah. So she called us and said, hey, thank you so much. This is my district, and you guys this is really the eyesore, but also a lot of the statistics for crime were happening in that specific location.
How much easier is it? Let's walk this real quick. This is going to be a more, I would guess, I wouldn't say racially motivated question, but how much easier is it to develop in Brooksmith versus if that same opportunity came up in 3rd, 5th Ward? Both of them are transition.
Right. Both of them transitioning.
Both of them tons of opportunity.
We actually have a property in 3rd Ward, an Airbnb property, so very familiar with that area. It is transitioning. But I think being so close to the Heights and being and catering to that crowd, young professionals, we're in the midst of that. 3rd Ward would be more of a challenge.
Yes. I think you're hitting on something that I love. The Heights to me is like a community. Mm-hmm. It's like Texas with inside of Texas, right? Like you travel anywhere and you're like, yeah, I'm from Texas, right? And you like puff your shoulders out a little bit. But when you're from the Heights, you're like,
I'm in the Heights.
I'm in the Heights.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just say, they're like, where do you live? Heights. Enough said.
Enough said. Right.
Now the people who live in the Heights, they go, oh yeah? Which part of the Heights? Right?
I'm off Cavalcade.
Yeah, I'm on Calgate. They're like, bitch, please. Like, bitch, please. You only pay like $12,000 a year in
Your
taxes.
taxes aren't anything.
Yeah, your taxes aren't anything, right?
That's funny.
Yeah. So, what's some of the craziest things that you've seen in this early stage of the process? What's the craziest thing that's happened so far, right up against Cavalcade and 45?
In terms of the construction process, like
I'm saying, just the craziest thing that you've seen so far.
So
go ahead.
we had we have a camp of homeless people that live
in the bayou.
In the bayou,
Yeah.
right. So at night during renovation, they would basically come to the property, break in the rooms, and sleep
naked,
completely naked, no clothes. So we get a video at 8 a.m. when our crews get there, and saying, well, what do we do with this guy? I'm like, dude, give him a sheet, get him out of here. We have some good videos of those guys.
Oh my god!
But it's sad that you got a lot of. I feel for those people as well. You figure.
How have you protected that area now?
It's tough. We're constantly calling. We have a tent
security
right behind us that actually is he's a drug dealer, and he deals drugs out of a tent. Cars pull up on a regular basis, and we've had to call and get this. It's just an eyesore with clients. It's a bad image. So things like that. We're just basically calling the cops. They generally don't do much for you.
Yeah.
But
we beefed up on security though.
We're persistent.
In terms of the party last night, there was security guards.
We haven't even gotten to the party last night. Talk to me about the party last night.
Oh, it was a good time.
Well, tell everybody what it was. 420 party.
It was a 420 party.
420 friendly party.
420 friendly party. Not promoted, but it was just encouraged, I guess.
You don't know, my show is sponsored by Pure Harvest.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
My show is sponsored by my buddy David Burcham from college. I went to a Christian college. My buddy David, he's a Christian guy. He convinces his dad, who's like super Christian. He convinces him, hey, look, I have the patent to extract THC from hemp. He's like, it's not the marijuana plant? He goes, nope. He's like, okay, I'm in. He extracts it and puts it. He's got and he came and stayed in the hotel.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said he had a bachelor party right next to him.
Yeah,
Huh?
and he had the bachelor party going on right next to him. So he's like, you know what? I've got 100 shooters. He's like passing some out to the party next to him. He's like, you guys have a good time. Let me know how it tastes. Yeah, but I'm this podcast is 420 friendly.
Cool.
Awesome. So we had a 420 event. We had about 7 or 8 different sponsors that were kind of 420 enthusiasts. Highway Vodka, which has a hemp vodka, hemp-based vodka. We had Cookies. We had Bun B, which was the musical sponsor.
You had Bun B?
Yeah, Bun B.
Local Houston rapper.
Yeah.
Legend.
Man, we all know who Bun B is.
Making sure.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
You're just saying that because I'm white?
No.
You are.
Not at all.
So racist.
You're over the age of 35. There you go. It should be, But, yeah, man. So it was.
I want Bun on this podcast.
Yeah.
I want to go toe to toe with him talking about revitalization. That dude is
really cool, dude.
He's taking some stuff over in 3rd and 5th Ward, man. That guy is all in his neighborhood.
And I'm generally not starstruck, just
Were
talking
you?
to the guy. Oh, yeah. Just like, he's super humble, easy to talk to. We sat down and had drinks with him last night. So it was,
and he just did a live performance?
No, didn't do a live performance, but basically, handled all the entertainment, the DJ, the whole, basically.
And then just hung out.
Yeah, and he wasn't there to make any money. He was basically there just to really support the business.
Nice.
And that's cool,
So the business is not just the hotel. The business is also Space Cowboy.
The business is the hotel and Space Cowboy, which is our bar, outdoor bar and pool. So we're going to have pool passes during the summer. It's mostly going to be more of an event-driven bar and restaurant. We have a top chef, Lyle Bento, who comes from Chris Shepard's crew. So the food's amazing.
Really?
Greg Perez, which actually owned a bar in the Independent Heights area off of Fulton called Monkey's Tail.
Yeah.
He moved over with us and bringing his entire team and his crowd to the Space Cowboy. as an owner. So I'm super excited with that.
And I came in for the limp open.
Yeah, oh, just very limp. Yeah,
It was very limp. It wasn't even soft.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just a limp open.
It
There's like 12 of us.
no music, nothing.
I kept going, can we just turn the music up just a little bit?
right.
Like, he's just barely going up. I'm like, pump that thing with some energy.
I mean, the ball's on the kid. I told him, I was like, man, I would love to open whenever everything's ready. And he's like, yeah, we just want to work out the staff and get all the kinks ready. So whenever we would launch, it's going to be, everybody knows exactly where to be and what to do.
So the place was packed last night.
Yeah.
It was packed. What's the next event that's going to happen?
The grand opening on believe the 25th.
On the 25th.
Yeah, I believe that's a Saturday of the last Saturday of May.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll have a grand opening for the hotel, and have musical guests. Outdoor lawn. We're going to be doing movie nights as well.
There's games on the patio. You can play cornhole. I mean, it's just a very, very good vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're not doing the super investor meeting there.
This is why I'm here.
We need to be doing the super investor meeting there.
We
That'd
do.
be great.
We do.
That would be great.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Especially now.
Is that when you do your 5-minute interviews with like the
Yeah.
podcast on
Yeah.
on steroids?
Yes.
Okay. I've
Yeah.
yet to go
Investor
to one.
Game Day. The Investor Game Day podcast.
Right.
You did go.
I haven't gone to one.
You went to the
The
meetings.
one at Redneck, right?
Yeah, at the
I have.
Redneck, and I had
that's
you
right.
on.
That's right. You're right. It
Oh
was
my
one time.
gosh.
I apologize.
Yes, because we talked
So
about the Tom Perry interview.
Right.
I was so. I love Tom. Tom's a good guy,
He is.
but he is on the wrong side of Airbnb. He's just on the wrong side of it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's maybe not for his style houses. He likes a certain type of house. If you pick the right house in the right areas, like we bought a property in the Heights, right off of I-10 and TC Jester, and
Rice Military.
three-story townhome, and we were averaging $5,000 a month. I mean,
No, you told us. You told us.
Oh, this is a new one.
this is a new one.
Oh, okay.
We just launched that one, and there was just so much business, and the crowds that we were getting, the tenants we were getting, it was an amazing experience. Nothing but profitable.
And what did you do with it?
I mean,
It's just still in the portfolio.
Yeah.
So give me an idea. How do you finance one of the Airbnbs, because it's a different financing structure than?
Not really.
No,
Nope.
same.
No, we do. We do guidance line loans. So
Okay.
basically, it's a pre-agreed upon $1 million that they're
Right.
giving you a fixed rate 20-year AM 4.25 right now.
So for people who don't know what a guidance line of credit is, it's like a global line, and they can pull out as they need. They've already prepaid the down payment in order to get it. So typically, a $1 million guidance line of credit is going to be 6 times 150.
Right.
So 150 is your deposit that you put into whatever your bank is, and then they're going to give you a 6 times multiplier on that in lending.
Right.
And the way it works is you have to pay a certain amount, like maybe it's 3/4 of a point, to originate the entire loan.
Yeah, I get it's 0.5, and they're giving you 80% loan to cost.
Well, that's for the you have to pay an origination fee for the entire line, and then you have to pay.
No, not actually. No,
You don't?
No, it's
Okay.
just they're basically going to do all their vetting in advance.
Right.
So by the time the deals do come, they're not having to. You're primed for a quick close.
And then it's typically 2 points above prime.
No, 1 point above prime.
Dang. Y'all. Okay. I used to go to Spirit of Texas. That's where I got my first $1 million guidance line. It was 150. We didn't even cash it out. We pledged a stock brokerage account against it
Okay.
that had 450 in it. They only lend 3 times.
No, we didn't have that
Okay.
issue. Yeah.
So they only take a third of whatever your brokerage account is worth.
Okay.
And if it dips below a certain level, you have to come and bring in cash.
Got you. No,
So-
I think being that we're full recourse and we have a couple successful businesses in order to
Yeah, it's going to be
support it,
easier.
it's a little bit easier. Yeah.
And once you start stockpiling assets into the line, they feel a whole lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
All that they request for people who are watching and they want to get a guidance line, all that they're going to request is what you guys have deposits. All your deposits go in through the bank.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Much. Yeah, we put 100,000 there and just kept it in there just to make them feel secure.
So how many assets can you put in with $1 million?
Depending on what you could buy for $1 million, right? Okay. So it depends on what your asset structure is and what your appetite is.
Right.
But you know how everything's overpriced right now, so it's we're looking for the ugliest, properties in the best areas.
Yeah.
With high equity growth. So we haven't done all that bad, but not all that great either. We're not cash flowing on the residential side as much as we'd like. The Airbnbs are obviously the thing that's carrying the portfolio, to be honest with you.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I have my house on Cavalcade. Mm-hmm. I'm four doors off of Cavalcade on Tabor. Okay. So I walk to Space Cowboy. Mm-hmm. Would you, with a 1,358 square foot 2-2, fully renovated, would you sell it right now at the top of the market for $450? I bought it for $2. Mm-hmm. I put 64 in it.
Okay.
Would you sell it right now at the top of the market, or would you roll it into a Verbo Airbnb?
I'd either rent it out, get $3,500 on it. I mean, I would think.
You think you could get 35 for a 2-2? I don't think so either.
I think about 28, 27.
Yeah.
No, this is Brooksmith. This is different. It's a different clientele. So my townhouse in Rice Military. No, 2,900 was the most. Right. But the people who live in Brooksmith it's a different clientele. They're the same clientele that's willing to spend $1 million on a bungalow house. So, me thinking, I think you would add, I'd say 3,000 is something that you'd be able to get. But
I don't think selling is a bad option either.
Yeah.
I mean,
why would you sell?
I mean, look at the appreciation you've gotten over the last, 3 years, 5 years?
Yeah. So I've taken 200, and it would all be tax free because that's my homestead. Right. So if you get to sell that, then educate people. Once you have a homestead and you're not remarried,
right?
What do you do with your tax-free money? You reinvest into another
100%.
To another homestead,
right? To another homestead,
right? Which is what I'm doing right now. I just sold my property, my house. We got a 21-day cash close. First day we got asking price on the market. So
that's awesome.
I wasn't planning to leave right away, so I priced it high,
right?
Thinking, okay, if I got 430, 440 for it, I'd be fine.
Yeah,
we get 460. I'm like, okay, I guess we got to move now,
right?
And it just depends on for us. I have a large family. We want good schools and raise our kids and
What's your problem with Browning?
that?
Browning is the elementary school in the middle of Brooksmith. Okay,
right, yeah.
Right. So
English is a second language, not a first.
I personally don't mind selling, just depending on what you're looking for. But Airbnb is a great option again, if you're not actually working the Airbnb, because it is a lot to manage those properties. But if you have a right team around you, it's very lucrative.
Yeah. What's the hardest part of doing the Airbnbs?
So once you streamline that process of the cleanings and making sure the customer experience and making sure you're getting good reviews and being very responsive to issues, once you have that, and you can automate everything through Airbnb and VRBO.
Yeah.
So there's auto responses for everything. Oh, hey, this went out. Oh, okay, great. We'll send somebody by
What's
this
my
time.
Wi-Fi password? Boom.
Right.
Just
little
preset response.
Things. We've had issues where guys locked themselves out. We had to call a locksmith, and it's how well you respond to issues. My property in 3rd Ward, we had a drive-by, and the guy's like, I got a family here. We refunded all his money. He still left me a good review, and it's just how are you going to weather the storm through bad issues? And really, once you start getting those good reviews, you can price it as high as you want.
Yeah. Really?
We're getting $350, $400 a night.
For a house.
On a weekday. So when rodeo comes around and, we're doing $8,000 a month, it can be very lucrative.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wish that you were more successful.
Yeah, right?
No, but his wife is the one who, if she wasn't a part of this, it wouldn't be worth it. I mean, as far as the time that you're having to spend responding to messages, and you need somebody.
In all fairness, the first time that I interviewed him, he did give his wife a ton of accolades. He said she should be here talking about this.
Sure.
She's really good.
Amazing. She's amazing.
She sounds awesome.
Yeah, she does. And again, it fits her schedule. She has 4 kids, so I go to the property once a week. I make some extra money. It works for her as a property manager.
Yeah, she's making $75,000 minimum a year, just managing a few Airbnbs.
Working 2 days a week.
So working 2-3 days a week. So
It's not bad.
She's 20% on anything that we bring in.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so she gets to use her superstar rating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Superhost.
Superhost rating, but also the superhost headache, the responding and then the vetting of guests that come in. Is it going to be a party? Does a background check on the guest to figure out, what their whole deal is. Because at the end of the day, you just want to make sure the property's not going to be damaged and parties are not going to be thrown. And you get a lot of that with Airbnb.
So what's the goal? What's next?
I'll tell you what's next. Javar is really good at finding just different opportunities. Looking at multifamily opportunities. We're actually just invested into a mixed use metal warehousing type of builds out in Katy, which is in the midst of construction. Will be done in about 3-4 months, and have already secured a few leases.
Yeah, we're 50% leased up on this place that we haven't even built up yet. So,
Wow.
yeah,
In
cool.
Katy.
Right in Katy, right one block from the Amazon shipping center, distribution center. So,
Damn.
yeah. So that's exciting, and then we're also we're under contract on a 180 unit in Pasadena as well.
I always give people a piece of advice. I'm going to add this one to it. The best opportunities are to go places where HEB is just now buying land.
Right.
And the next best place to go is where Amazon is building a distribution center because they don't pay high rent. They go to, they almost create their own little city around.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. If you can follow an Amazon, don't follow Kroger. Kroger is kind of like a benchmark. It's like a 24-hour fitness.
Right.
When you know that you've arrived when your little neighborhood gets a Lifetime.
Right.
Right?
Or an HEB.
Or an HEB.
Right.
Or someone from Chris Shepard's crew becomes a chef of a hole-in-the-wall restaurant.
Right.
Because what do they call peanut butter and jelly? No, it's like pure
PB and
what it's pure. I can't remember what he calls himself, but you know who's an investor in there?
Who's that?
Whitney Merciless.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It changes. The name always changes, right?
Right.
I mean, that's Chris Shepard's deal. Was like once a quarter they changed up like their whole menu. I can't remember the name of this whole thing, but the funniest thing.
I know what you're talking about. The place that we went to, the
Mediterranean
place.
And then he switched the concept a year
Yeah,
later into
yeah.
a steakhouse.
Right.
And
Yes.
it's amazing.
Yeah, and it hasn't 1/5.
1/5, there you
UB
go.
Preserve.
UB Preserve, yeah.
And this is what I'm learning from Greg Perez, which is our partner on the restaurant side. Is
You
it's
have to
not
constantly change.
you got to constantly change, but you also have to run it has to be a well-run operation. And
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of restaurants are falling short is they just don't know how to run a business. The culture, just seeing how he treats his employees and the people that they would die for him. They would jump off a bridge for him. Seeing that it's inspiring to see how.
Chris Shepard is our Guy Fieri.
Right.
When Chris Shepard got COVID, like all of social media went crazy, like R.I.P. Chris, like come back, please, don't die.
Right.
I mean, I've never seen a guy be a god.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
that dude-
Southern Smoke, he's up to 15 or 20 million right now on the donation side
Wow.
to the people in the restaurant industry. So yeah,
Wow.
he's definitely giving back, and he's the man.
Yeah, dude created an amazing cookbook.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man, we got to get that dude out there.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was supposed to be at the launch party actually. So
Really?
yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll get him. We'll
Yeah.
definitely get him out there.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So, any parting words of advice for the people listening to the podcast?
Keep grinding. Just grind. And mistakes are going to be made, but with my clients on the real estate investment side, I learn from really them. I see a guy who works a 9 to 5 and he's built his portfolio from one property to 35 in a couple of years. I'm not real estate educated, so I just said if this guy could do it, I definitely can.
Yeah.
And just jump in, feet first, and let's see what happens.
You know what's funny is you might hit this. I'm gonna save my comment. What's your parting words that you want to give to people?
Parting words, really put yourself out there. Okay?
You're hitting on exactly what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Putting yourself in a situation, hanging out with the right people, having the right team, to put yourself to have those opportunities. We were talking about it yesterday. Just 15 years ago, we were working in a shit office in Greenspoint trying to grow our benchmark business. Did we ever think 10, 12, 15 years later we'd own this nice hotel, and how packed it was on a Tuesday, and and it's just like, what's to come? Like, we're from where our family came and us being first generation and where we are now, just really put yourself in position to find opportunities and be a risk taker. Don't hold all. You can't take your money with you at the end of the day. So try whatever you can do to set yourself up for financial freedom. And I think real estate is probably the best way. I know everybody has a portfolio in stocks and they have their own businesses, but
Bitcoin.
If you're trying to create wealth, you need a mixture of all three. And I think real estate here in Houston area is booming right now.
Right.
And
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a mistake in Houston.
I asked you, I sent you that text message this morning. I said, are you going to take Dogecoin?
What's that?
Remember?
Yeah, Dogecoin? Yeah,
you're going to take Dogecoin?
I haven't.
You got to take crypto, man.
I bought a bunch of Dogecoin for no
You
reason.
did?
Early on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think about this Safe Moon stuff?
Safe Moon?
Yeah. Have
Another
you seen
crypto?
this?
I saw Safe Moon. Is that the one with the
This is the one that
SpongeBob SquarePants freaking?
I don't know, man.
It's
It's
all over
so
the place.
weird.
It is weird.
It's so weird. It's like you have to like get one wallet, and then you have to transfer it to another wallet, and then you have to transfer it back, and like, I don't know, man. It's just crazy,
It's
dude.
a lot, yeah.
If it's too complicated for me, then I don't want to
away.
invest.
Right.
Stay away.
Well, it started climbing, and all these people, like there was this guy that was doing a live video from Heights House.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I bought Bitcoin 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Just a few, 4 or 5, and saw it. Just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Didn't realize it was in there. Didn't even know my password, my Coinbase account, and looked at it and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This is serious, And then
Yeah.
you start seeing these ATMs in gas stations,
Yes.
Bitcoin ATMs, and I'm just like, okay,
Bitcoin
they're
ATM
serious.
now?
Yeah, they're right down the street.
Because I keep thinking to myself, the first person, because you can buy on PayPal. Well, now you can buy on Venmo.
Right.
The only problem with Venmo is you can't exchange. You can only sell.
You can only sell.
Right.
It's when you can exchange services from my Venmo to your Venmo
Right.
through Dogecoin. That's when
it becomes legit.
man,
Yeah.
yeah,
Cash App
or
has it also.
yeah, when I can cash out to Square or whatever your payment portal is. Man, the first person that starts taking crypto only as the means of payment,
Right.
jeez.
Right.
We're getting there though.
I know,
We are
fast,
getting there.
fast.
To the point where it will become. It's not a currency, obviously, because it's limited, but we are getting there.
I mean, it is a currency. It's a currency is what two people think it is, right? Or value to
No, a currency is considered a value of exchange.
value of exchange, right?
Right.
What two people think a value of yeah.
Gold isn't a currency. It's a statement of value. In the past, gold used to be a value of exchange.
Right.
I used to go chip on some stuff. I would get some gold, and then I would go buy whatever.
Right.
Right.
But you have to remember, the people who made the most amount of money, those were the pickaxes sellers, the
Right.
shovel seller.
Right.
Those were the guys
Home
that made all
Depots.
the Home Depots. Those were the guys that made all the money.
Right.
I mean, I'm learning so much from my own workers. My general contractor, or not general contractor, my guy who runs all my projects, my project manager, his name is Mauro. That guy has already 7 rental properties. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want people on my team to learn from what I'm doing
And grow.
Right.
Right.
And now he's building his own portfolio. He's doing his own. He doesn't need me anymore. He's made money. So I'm learning, man, the people who make the most amount of money is my lender.
Right.
My lender gets paid first.
Right.
Right.
The second guy that gets paid, my contractors.
Right.
I get paid last,
Right.
right? The wholesaler gets paid more than anybody.
Right.
Exactly.
But going back to what both of y'all said, I think you hit the nail on the head. Failure is the only option to success. And what people are failing to do, especially because of fears of COVID or whatever, is they restrict themselves from going and branching themselves out.
Right.
the grind that you talk about. I mean, how many hours have we spent at bars, meetups, introducing ourselves to people? I mean, where would you be today if you didn't get out there and risk being told, nah, I don't. I mean, you got to ask for money.
Right.
You got to ask for deals.
Right.
And this is the only reason why I'm doing the podcast.
Right.
It gives me an opportunity to make other people special for an hour, and then I get to glean some information, and then hopefully somebody on there, gets to see it and they get something out of it as well.
Big time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, man.
Y'all are killing it,
Thank you
man.
for having me, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. All right. You guys have listened to another episode of Nailed It. Go build something.